Hello, Sun City Anthem. I'm Sally Olson. You may know me as Karen Carpenter from a past show, The Carpenter's Legacy, at Freedom Hall.
And I recreate Richard Carpenter, Karen's brother. But in real life, I'm Ned Mills. Sally and I are not brother and sister, we are a couple, and we're here to welcome you to our tribute to love this month. A happy Valentine's Day, Sally. To you and all those here in Sun City Anthem who have been in love, are in love now, or want to be. As you may know, February is not only famous for its celebration of love on Valentine's Day, it's also remembered for the Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago. Our own Phil Schlager will shoot us that story at this month's lineup.
The blockbuster film Avatar, The Way of Water, was released recently. Don and Linda Walsh will review the film for us. Maybe a Valentine's Day movie date.
And Mike Maloney and Linda Liu will be interviewing residents about Valentine snafus in their segment.
Diane Davis will also bring us That's Entertainment.
We have those stories and more next on this month's Anthem Alive.
Welcome back to our show. Ned, there has been a lot of buzz about the long-awaited sequel to Avatar.
I know what you mean, because I've been looking forward to finding out what happens next in the Avatar universe.
Here are Don and Linda Walsh and He Said, She Said with a review of the new film Avatar, The Way of Water.
Hello, my name is Linda Walsh.
And my name is Don Walsh, and we are He Said, She Said.
This month, we review the Hollywood blockbuster Avatar, The Way of the Water. It is a sequel to the other 2009 Hollywood blockbuster Avatar, both directed by James Cameron of Terminator and Titanic fame. In 1997, Titanic became the highest-grossing film of all time, holding this position for 12 years until Cameron's original Avatar beat the record in 2010. Cameron makes a lot of great movies, but more than that, he makes a lot of money for the studios that support and back his efforts.
I think if I had to do it all over, I would watch the original Avatar, at least try to understand the plot of that first movie before seeing the second.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. That's all they see.
I see you.
It really is a continuation of that story.
The Way of the Water follows Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, and Neytiri, played by Sue Saldana, who were the adult characters from the first film. Years have passed, and they are now the parents of 4 Na'vi children. The Na'vi people are not human. They have only 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand, a prehensile tail, cat-like tail, and they grow to an average height of 9 to 10 feet tall. Jake and Neytiri's children are the boys Neteyam, played by Jamie Flatters, and Loak, played by Britton Dalton, and their youngest child, a daughter named Took, played by Trinity Jolie Bliss. Also part of their family unit is Spider, played by Jack Champion. He is a human child who was too young to leave Pandora with the other humans at the end of the first movie. And Kiri, who is played by Sigourney Weaver, is the daughter born from the avatar of Dr. Grace, Augustine. The family is driven from their forest home of Pandora when humans return to attempt recolonization of that area.
Now led by General Francis Ardmore, played by Edie Falco. And they have shifted from mining exploration to the exploitation of their other resources on Pandora, because the conditions on Earth have worsened.
The humans bring some recombinants with them. Recombinants are naive avatar bodies grown in a laboratory from the DNA of soldiers killed on Pandora in the first film. They are implanted with the memories of the human soldier who was killed. I was starting to get lost with this storyline by this time a little bit. The recombinant group was led by Miles Quaritch, played by Stephen Lang. They are there to hunt down and exact revenge against Jake and Neytiri, who take their family and flee the forest, seeking refuge with a different clan that lives on top of a reef in the ocean. This clan is led by Tanawari, played by Cliff Curtis, and his mate, Ronal, played by Kate Winslet.
The film pulls at your heartstrings for three very simple reasons. First, the film is an underdog story in which a broken man finds meaning and purpose to his life and becomes a leader against all odds. Second, it is a military story in which a soldier defies command to fight for what is right. And thirdly, it is a story of a man versus nature, where our relationship with the world around us is shown to be more powerful than all the things that humanity builds. At its core, it is a love story, though, in which two people from very different world units unite their hearts and their tribes to fight against the evil humans. We found ourselves cheering for Jake and his family in spite of the fact they aren't the humans in this story.
It is a good story, even heartwarming at times, but the story and the movie don't warrant 3 hours and 12 minutes.
They don't.
The story of a man and a woman raising a family and also protecting them from evils beyond their comprehension is relevant to all of us. Teaching children to get along and be kind is but one of many age-old objectives of parenthood. This is apparently true, whether you're human or not.
Was it spectacular? The technology used to make it certainly was. When the first Avatar aired in 2009, it was groundbreaking, visually stunning. Nothing like it had ever been hit the big screen before. This time around, it's just as beautiful and visually stunning, but it isn't the groundbreaker its predecessor was. You do get a small bargain in that 3 hours and 12 minutes, though. It's more than enough time to finish virtually any size popcorn and soft drink you might buy.
It's no wonder that after the original Avatar's release, many big blockbuster titles were distributed in 3D as other big studios tried to make money with that technology.
Is it worth spending your hard-earned money on an action-packed but expensive 3D ticket? Regular moviegoers say that it's well worth it, especially for the lucky people who can watch it on IMAX 3D. I wouldn't sit through the movie again, but I am glad that I was able to see it on the big 3D screen. I give the movie 2 thumbs up for pure entertainment value. How about you, Linda?
I agree. The movie was a little too long and a little too loud, but I really did enjoy the beauty of the special effects and the story itself. And for those reasons, I too give it 2 thumbs up. I am Linda Walsh.
And I'm Don Walsh, and we are
He Said, She Said.
Reporting for SCA-TV.
With me. And I need you to be strong.
That was a great review. Superheroes may just have to be blue from now on.
February 14th, as you know, is St. Valentine's Day. This weapon, the Thompson submachine gun, factored into the most infamous Valentine's Day history. Here's Phil Schlager with the story of the 1929 St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
February 14th, 1929, St. Valentine's Day, began like most other winter mornings in Chicago. Gray skies and stinging cold. A light snowfall powdered the city sidewalks. At 2122 North Clark Street, in a quiet residential neighborhood in Lincoln Park, 7 men had gathered in a warehouse garage. 5 of them were known North Side gangsters working for George Bugs Moran. Bugs, who had been incarcerated 3 times before he was 21, was locked in a bloody war with longtime enemy Al Capone for control of bootlegging, gambling, and prostitution in Chicago. Scarface Al was kingpin of the South Side. Inside the garage, talking business, were Moran's men. Except for Johnny May, they were nattily dressed in suits and ties. May, a former safe blower, was in greasy brown coveralls and lying on his back under a jacked-up truck, repairing a wheel. 4 other Moran gangsters were milling about, trying to stay warm. The Gusenberg brothers, Frank and Peter, 2 of Chicago's most troublesome goons, were there. So too were James Clark, a convicted armed robber and reputed killer, and Adam Hayer, aka Frank Snyder, an accountant and embezzler. Also there were 2 other men. An affiliate of the gang, Albert Weinshank, was a nightclub owner and a newly appointed official of the Central Cleaners and Dryers Association. Richard Schwimmer, an optometrist, liked to hang around the Moran boys, mostly so he could brag to his friends about his underworld connections. Soon, all 7 men would be dead, bloody victims of the gruesome St. Valentine's Day Massacre. At around 10:30 that wintry Valentine's Day morning, a big black Cadillac turned from Webster Avenue onto Clark Street. It stopped in front of the SMC Cartage Company warehouse at 2122 North Clark Street. According to eyewitnesses, 4 or 5 men got out. 2 wore police uniforms. The men stepped into the garage through the front door. Since there was no evidence of a struggle, it's believed Moran's men thought it was a police raid. Though armed, not one of them reached for his weapon in time to do anything with it. Maybe seeing police in uniform, they decided to play it cool. The cops ordered Moran's men to face the wall, shoulder to shoulder with their hands up. Then they raised their weapons, 2 Tommy guns and a 12-gauge shotgun. There was a spray of bullets. 70 rounds of ammunition were fired. Bullet holes and blood spatters covered the wall's bricks. The 7 men fell. Some died instantly. Some gasped briefly for air. It was the most horrific shooting in mob history. Out on Clark Street, a few neighbors heard popping noises and peered out their windows in time to see men leaving the garage and getting into the Cadillac. It looked as if 2 cops were leading 2 or 3 other men, possibly at gunpoint. The automobile sped away, zigzagging to avoid a trolley. One of the neighbors walked over to the garage and pulled open the door. 6 men were dead. Still alive was Frank Gusenberg, shot 14 times, but hanging on. He was taken to a hospital where a police sergeant asked who shot him. "No one shot me," he said, and then the notorious gangster died. Moran had been on his way to the garage at the time of the massacre. He missed getting killed by minutes. A few days later, he told reporters, "Only Capone kills like that." Capone reached at his Florida home for comment on the murders, offered his own opinion. The only man who kills like that is Bugs Moran. The Chicago police were never able to identify the perpetrators. No one was ever prosecuted, though Capone was widely suspected. The only witness to the shooting was a German shepherd named Highball. Poor Highball was never the same after the massacre and had to be put down by police. Meanwhile, news of the St. Valentine's Day massacre made headlines across the country. The shooting served as a wake-up to many Americans about the shocking extent of organized crimes, power, and violence. If you're in Chicago, don't bother looking for the infamous garage. It's long gone. When it was slated for demolition in 1967, Vancouver entrepreneur George Patty brought the bricks from the wall. Patty tried several business ventures with them, from putting the bricks in the club restroom to selling them by mail. None were successful. But don't despair. Today, you can easily view the wall with the bricks in their original locations in downtown Las Vegas. At the Mob Museum, steps from Fremont Street at 300 Stewart Avenue, the wall with 300 of the bricks from the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Reporting for SCA-TV, I'm Phil Schlager.
What a story. Thanks, Phil. From now on, every year I'll be thinking of the St. Valentine's Day massacre when my Valentine's Day cards go out.
The reporters at Sun City Anthem TV enjoy bringing you these fun places like the Mob Museum to visit and take your out-of-town guests. You can see other suggestions on SCA-TV, YouTube, and Cox TV and the Sun City Anthem website.
And now for a refreshing change of pace. In honor of Valentine's Day on February 14th, Mike Maloney and Linda Liu caught some residents at the centers to chat about their Valentine's Day plans, past and present.
Hello everyone, I'm Mike Maloney, Sun City Anthem, and I'm here today with random people to ask them their stories about Valentine's Day, or in some cases, the season before Valentine's Day. Victor is with me today, a friend of mine actually. I know Victor quite well, and we're going to ask him, what is the most unusual thing that's ever happened to you on the holiday?
Yeah, well, I was newly married. My wife and I got married at the end of September, and Christmas was coming 3 months later. Now, being newly married and young guy, I wasn't really too good at buying gifts for women. I knew kind of that you're not supposed to get them appliances or anything like that, but I wasn't quite sure. But we were newly married, and we're getting ready to go to our own place. So I'm in the store, and I see all this nice kitchenware stuff, you know, pots and pans and plates and silverware. And I'm going, oh, man, she'll love this stuff because we're going to move into the new place. So I buy this. Now, I know I know you guys know that this is going to end in disaster, right? But I compounded this mistake, all right, because the store I bought it at did not have boxes except down in the wrapping center. So I go down there, and they got all these boxes. But these boxes are boxes from the retail stores upstairs, which are high-end stores. So I get these boxes. It's Christmas morning. My wife opens this thing, and it's a Louis Vuitton box or a Gucci box. She pulls out a frying pan or a pot or these plates. And I'm thinking it's great, you know. I'm still clueless on this stuff. So she was a pretty good sport about it, but we were having Christmas at my mother's house. And this reminds me of that movie, The Graduate, where Dustin Hoffman's there, and the guy says, I got one word for you, plastics. My one word was jewelry. So what happened, though, is Valentine's Day was coming up 6 weeks later. And I felt really bad, you know. So I thought, well, I'm going to get her a nice piece of jewelry. And I bought her one of those bracelets with the diamonds around them or something. Tennis bracelet. They call them tennis, right? So that's my Valentine's Day story. So if you mess up at Christmas, you got Valentine's Day to make up for it. You know?
Oh, there's never a happy ending to any of these Valentine stories, is there? Well, there you go, folks. That's one instance of a Valentine and Christmas story that has been mixed. But I can see there's another person over here walking over, and we're going to ask her to talk to us. Victor, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, Look at this lovely lady. Hello. Would you like to talk about your Valentine's Days?
Sure.
Okay. What we're looking for is the worst Valentine's Day you ever had, the worst present you ever got, and the best present you ever got for Valentine's Day.
I would say the best present and maybe the worst at the same time is this beautiful ring that I got for Valentine's Day. My husband said, let's go to the store. We go, and he goes, you can pick anything you want out of that case right there. And I was like, wow, okay. So I'm looking around, I'm like, this is such a cool store because like on the one side, there was like all this jewelry, and then on the other side, there was like TVs and power tools, and I never saw a store like that.
Was it a pawn shop?
Was it a pawn shop? You tell me. You're the one that bought me this.
Okay, guilty as charged. She is not a random woman. She's actually my wife who just happened to be here. That was a very expensive ring. I think I paid almost $75 for that thing.
You negotiated it down to $50. There's nothing says love like having your man negotiate the price of your Valentine's Day present with the pawn shop personnel.
You know what? $75 is way too much. $50 was a good deal, and I bet you it's worth that now.
I'm worth every cent.
Probably are. Well, that's a lot of interesting ways of presenting yourself, and we're here with two of my new friends, Stan and Bob. I'm going to talk to Stan first about his most poignant Valentine memory. I think you're really going to appreciate this and want to hear it. Do you know what the ratio is of men to women here at Sun City Anthem?
About 70% women and about 40% men. 70-40.
70-40.
Yeah.
Okay.
110. Doesn't work. 70-30 works better.
There you go. That's good. Well, I wanted you to share your stories with us. Stan, would you like to do yours first?
Okay, I'll do it. As far as Valentine's Day goes, beginning of our marriage, I was married 60 years. Beginning of our marriage was, flowers going out to a nice restaurant. Later on, it was jewelry, and then after that, it was just a card because there was nothing. Your wife said, that's it, it's enough, I need nothing. So it was a card and going out to dinner.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, I want the most unusual Valentine you ever spent with your wife.
We went up in a hot air balloon to watch the sun come up in the morning over the pyramids and over Giza.
Now, why didn't you lead with that one?
Because, you have to start thinking about what the hell did you do? But this is going back 20 years.
Stan, that has got to be the most awesome Valentine's Day I could ever possibly imagine.
Awesome.
Guys, thank you so much.
Over the pyramids. It's a pleasure. Well, have fun, guys.
I want to say thank you, everyone, for checking this out and seeing what's up. Bye, Bob. Bye, Stan. You too.
So Sally, up next, we're going to share a clip from our stage life, but I'm sure the audience would like to hear your story of how you got started in show business.
Well, sure. I'm originally from Vermont, and I've been singing ever since I was a young kid. And, geez, I think it was back in 2010 I started training professionally, and I wanted to put together a one-woman show, and I started performing as Karen Carpenter. And then, as you know, we had some mutual friends that introduced us, and I came out here to Vegas, and the rest was history, and we got our Carpenter's Legacy show going.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ned, your own journey is really special. I'll let you tell everyone how we got started working together.
Yeah, so as you said, we were introduced by a mutual friend, Pam Sullivan, who's a retired showgirl. And I've been known to be a music conductor all over Las Vegas for the past 20 years. And so Pam introduced us, and you were looking for an accompanist. And you had, if I recall, you had several piano players lined up to meet. And so anyway, we met and we kind of clicked musically, and I was the last piano player that you ended up working with, right?
That's right. And you became my Richard Carpenter for Carpenter's Legacy.
There you go, which is quite a switch from being Jerry Lee Lewis, I'll tell you that. So I tell you what, it's time to go to our next segment, so please let's roll that clip.
We've only just begun to live.
The definitive show celebrating the music and history of the famed brother-sister duo. Sally Olsen is Karen Carpenter. Unsurpassed in her uncanny representation, Sally's performance honors the cherished legacy of the 1970s songstress.
Talking to myself and
Carpenter's fans around the country claim that Sally is the closest thing to Karen.
Nothing ever seems to fit. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. We go on.
Sally performed at the Carpenters' 50th anniversary celebration and was also selected by Legends in Concert to be their first ever Karen Carpenter tribute artist.
Why do birds suddenly appear?
In 1969, the Carpenters signed with A&M Records, founded by Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss.
Just like me.
To commemorate this partnership, the show opens with a tribute to Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. And the musical genius of Richard Carpenter. Sally Olsen and Ned Mills merged their talents with top Las Vegas musicians with rich vocal harmonies to create the world's only authentic Carpenters tribute in sight and sound in their recreation of the Carpenters' 1976 UK tour.
Make it easy on yourself. Make it easy on yourself. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride.
Not only does the show have powerful ballads, this showstopper will make you laugh and cheer. Sally's stunning vocals combined with vintage costumes, authentic hairstyles, historical commentary, lovely arrangements, and powerful live band will take you on an incredible journey of their greatest hits.
Just sing our song. Only yesterday. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby. I love you, I really do.
Thanks for showing that clip. That was a lot of fun. So next we have an entertainment report from Diane Davis.
Gee, that woman is everywhere, isn't she?
This is Diane Davis with That's Entertainment. And today we're going to talk and make sure that we're going to have entertainment while the theater is undergoing its fabulous renovation. So I've asked Cortez Napier to come sit down with us, and I want you to meet him as well.
I am the events coordinator here at Sun City Anthem. I'm fairly new, so I began right before Thanksgiving 2022. Everything basically fun that happens in this community, I am responsible for coordinating it and creating it. So all these events that the community likes to experience and attend in Freedom Hall and Anthem Center Ballroom, I coordinate those.
Okay, now people are worried. The theater is closing for renovations. Are we still going to have shows? Are we still going to have entertainment right here in Sun City Anthem?
Yes, people don't have to fret. They don't have to worry. There's going to be shows still. While the theater is going under renovation, that will be only in March and April, and then the shows will resume in May in Freedom Hall.
Okay.
So there still will be a venue, so everyone can still enjoy the shows like they used to.
Okay, so where will the shows be then?
In Anthem Center Ballroom.
Okay.
Like the Delaware room, with all those rooms are combined.
Okay, but then the comedy will still be going on?
Comedy's still going on.
Jazz nights?
Jazz nights still going on in Independence Center in the multipurpose room. So that's none of that's changing at all.
So not to worry. Okay, when we bought tickets here, we had assigned seats. What's going to happen with that?
That's a good question. It will be general admission during the time that it's in the Anthem Center Ballroom. So that's going to be a little different for people to try to get used to. But I just have to remind people it's for the better. The theater's going to be renovated. It's going to sound better, and it's just temporary.
In a few sentences, what are they doing to the theater?
They're just improving the sound system. The sound system and the different speakers and components that go along with it. It's not a major renovation, but it's just to improve the quality of the sound.
And okay, so you're in charge of activities. So besides, let's go off. Everything we do here is entertainment. So let's go off campus. And what are some of the things that are going to be coming up February, March, April?
Right. Okay. I'm glad you asked. March. Well, no. At the end of February, we're going to UNLV at Thomas and Mack to go watch the Rebels play the Air Force Falcons.
Okay.
March 5th is the Golden Knights game against the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens. That's really their name. And then in April, we have something exciting. At the end of April, we're going to see MJ1 at Cirque du Soleil in Mandalay Bay.
Now, if someone wants to sign up, how do they do it?
They can come to that.
Let's say they're new. They just moved here from the planet Saturn, and they don't know how to do it. So you tell us.
They can go to our website,
which is
SCA-HOA.org, or they can give us a call. And that I have to get back to you on because I don't remember that off the top of my head.
Okay.
Or they can visit the activities office anytime.
Well, thank you, Cortez, for visiting with Sun City Anthem's Anthem Alive.
Of course.
And we will look forward to interacting with you as the years go on.
Anytime. Thanks, Dan.
This is Diane Davis. That's entertainment.
Thanks, Diane. Here's another happening in February. The Performing Arts Club has Songs I Love to Remember from the karaoke group on February 4th in Freedom Hall. Tickets are only $10 on the website, on the screen, or the activities office.
Sounds like fun. What a great way to celebrate February. Las Vegas isn't just the entertainment capital of the world, which is why so many of us moved here, but it's also the city of love.
Well, Ned and I loved being with all of you here today, and you can come see us at the modern showrooms at Alexis Park Resort Hotel.
Yep. In fact, we want you guys to have a sweet February and the rest of the year. We hope to be close to you. Is that a cue or what?
I think so.
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Great. We wish all you guys a very happy, safe, healthy, and pleasant new year. Bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.